All right, so get ready, because this deep dive, we are tackling a topic that is either pure genius or a total scam, you decide. We're digging into this YouTube video, and this lady, Odetta Rockhead-Kerr, is promising like $300 a day, all thanks to Google.
The internet, huh? A land of opportunity. Yeah. And some pretty questionable claims. So what is this Odetta lady peddling?
Okay, so she lays out this whole step-by-step method using Google News, a free article spinner, and posting the results to various websites.
Okay.
She even throws in a couple examples, like a story about this 24-year-old who bought a house by living in a tiny home first. Okay. And another one about red meat and cheese not affecting life expectancy.
Ooh, clickbait gold.
Right.
But I'm guessing there's more to the story, or we wouldn't be, doing a deep dive into it, would we?
Exactly. So the whole thing, it hinges on using this free tool called Spinbot to reword news articles. And she claims it avoids plagiarism. She even compares it to Burger King putting their spin on a McDonald's burger. Saying news outlets do the same thing all the time.
That is a very creative interpretation, to say the least. Yeah. While news outlets might report on the same events, there's a world of difference between legitimate reporting and just spinning someone else's work.
Right.
And legally speaking, that Burger King analogy could land you in hot water faster than you can say copyright infringement.
Yeah, for sure. The alarm bells were definitely ringing for me there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you really just take a trending news story, run it through this Spinbot thing, and call it a day? Where's the originality? Where's the actual writing?
Yeah, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And even if the spun content somehow made it past a plagiarism checker, I just can't imagine it being, particularly engaging or insightful to read.
Right, it's like those AI-generated recipes you see online sometimes. Yes! Technically a recipe, but completely lacking in soul.
The perfect analogy. And speaking of soul, let's not forget, the ethical side of things. Flooding the internet with, this low-quality spun content doesn't exactly benefit anyone. Okay.
So the spinning method itself is already raising some red flags.
Yeah.
But let's say, just for argument's sake, you do manage to spin up some, barely passable content.
Okay.
Where does it go next?
That's where these money-making websites come in.
Okay.
Odetta rattles off a whole list of sites that supposedly pay for articles, and some of them have pretty impressive rates, too, even up to $500 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's where that, $300 a day figure comes from, right?
In theory, yes. But she conveniently skips over a few crucial details, such as, first, not all websites are created equal. Some are highly reputable and selective, while others are not so much. And even if you find a website that accepts your spun content, there's no guarantee that it'll meet their quality standard. It's definitely a possibility.
Oh, great.
And even if they do get accepted, there's the issue of time and effort. Odetta makes it sound like you can just churn out these articles in minutes. But realistically, there's research involved, editing, formatting, submitting to websites. It's not as simple as she makes it seem.
Right. Definitely not the passive income dream she's selling then.
Not by a long shot.
Okay.
And even if you were a spinning machine pumping out articles 24/7, let's talk about the math here.
Okay.
To hit that $300 a day target, you'd need to be consistently getting your articles accepted at the highest rates, which, let's be honest, is highly unlikely.
So maybe we need to take Odetta's claims with a grain of salt, or maybe a whole salt shaker.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
But let's actually dive into the websites she mentions, because that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
She name drops ListVerse.
Yeah.
Supposedly pays $100 per article.
Okay.
On all sorts of topics, science, entertainment, history.
ListVerse is a legitimate site. That's true. Or they're known for their quirky list-based articles. Mm-hmm. But let's just say they have a very specific style, right? And I doubt a spun article is going to cut it.
So no easy $100 there then.
Probably not.
What about Cracked.com?
Oh, Cracked.
She claims they pay $100, $200 per article. Yeah. And they're all about humor and pop culture, right?
Cracked can be a tough nut to crack.
Okay.
They have a very distinct comedic voice, and they're looking for original, witty content.
Right.
Again, I doubt spinning an article is going to get you very far there. You need to bring your A-game humor-wise.
It's a 2 down, and already it's looking like Odetta might be oversimplifying things a bit.
Yeah, just a tad.
What about this one? The Dollar Stretcher. It sounds promising for the frugally minded.
The Dollar Stretcher is a legitimate site focused on, you guessed it, saving money.
Okay.
They do pay writers, but it's 10 cents a word.
Oh, wow.
So to make that $100 that Odetta is touting, You're looking at writing a 1,000-word article.
That's a lot of words for not a lot of dollars.
It is, and we haven't even factored in taxes and all that fun stuff.
Right, exactly. It's starting to feel like that $300 a day is slipping further and further out of reach.
Yeah, I think so.
But we've got more websites to explore. Yeah.
And we do. Stay tuned.
Okay, so welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing to kind of dissect Odeta's Google Goldmine method.
Yeah.
And so far, it's looking a little tarnished.
Yeah, a bit of polish is definitely needed.
Yeah.
We've explored some of the websites that Odeta mentions, and while some are legitimate, like the idea of just throwing spun content their way seems like a recipe for rejection.
Right, and even if you somehow get past the quality control, like the time and effort involved, it just doesn't seem like easy money.
Right.
But she does mention some sites with higher payouts.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those are the real key to like hitting that $300 a day.
Well, let's see. One that stands out is International Living.
Okay.
They're all about travel and lifestyle, particularly for folks looking to, like, retire abroad or travel on a budget. Okay. Odeta claims that they pay anywhere from $75 to $400 an article.
That does sound promising.
Yeah, it does.
But there's got to be a catch, right?
The catch is that International Living has a very specific niche. They're looking for experienced travel writers who can craft engaging stories and offer practical advice for expats and budget travelers. It's not just about describing a pretty beach. It's about capturing like the experience and providing valuable insights.
So you need more than just a spun article about, the latest travel trends.
Precisely.
You need to be a bit of a globetrotter yourself.
Exactly. And even then, competition is fierce.
Right.
There are a lot of talented travel writers out there vying for those coveted spots.
Okay, so maybe International Living is a bit more aspirational than easy money.
Definitely.
What about a list apart?
A list apart.
Odeta claims they pay like $200 to $300 per article, which is nothing to sneeze at.
A list apart is definitely a reputable website.
Okay.
But their focus is on web design and development.
Okay.
Think in-depth articles, technical tutorials, cutting-edge insights for web professionals.
Okay.
It's a highly specialized niche, and you need to know your CSS from your JavaScript to even have a chance.
So unless you're fluent in code, you're probably not going to crack that code.
Probably not. Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. What about Writers Weekly? They focus on, writing, which seems right up our alley.
Writers Weekly is a great resource for writers of all levels.
Okay.
They offer practical advice, tips on the business of writing, and even have a job board. That's cool. Odeta claims that they pay $60 per article, which is reasonable. Sorry. The but is that Writers Weekly is looking for specific types of content. Right. Think articles that provide valuable insights for other writers. Okay.
So you can't just spin an article about, the latest grammar rule debate and call it a day.
No, you need to offer real value, something that helps other writers succeed.
Okay, so we're starting to see a pattern here. Odeta's list of websites, while not entirely bogus, definitely requires a bit more nuance than she lets on.
I would agree.
You can't just spin any old article and expect to rake in the cash.
It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Yeah. You might force it in there, but it's not going to be pretty.
Perfect analogy. But we still have a few more websites to explore.
You do.
Odeta mentions Photoshop tutorials, which sounds intriguing for the visually inclined.
As the name suggests, Photoshop tutorials is all about teaching people how to use Photoshop effectively.
Right.
They do pay well up to $300 per article, according to Odeta, but those articles are highly technical and require a deep understanding of the software.
So, no spinning your way to Photoshop mastery then?
No, you actually have to know your way around layers and filters and all that jazz. Right.
Another one bites the dust. What about Income Diary?
Yeah.
They focus on making money online, which seems perfectly aligned with Odeta's whole premise.
Income Diary is a popular website in the online business niche, but they're known for their long-form, in-depth articles. They cover topics like blogging, social media marketing, SEO, and everything in between. And while they do pay writers, it's not for quick-spun content.
So no easy shortcuts to internet riches there either.
Not really. They're looking for experienced marketers and entrepreneurs who can offer valuable insights, case studies, and actionable advice based on real-world experience.
Okay, so maybe Odeta's list of money-making websites isn't entirely a mirage, but it's definitely more of a selective oasis than a free-flowing river of cash.
I like that analogy.
Thank you.
It's about finding the right fit for your skills and expertise. While spinning articles might seem like a tempting shortcut, it's ultimately a dead end.
Right, it's like trying to build a house on a foundation of sand.
Yeah.
It might look good for a while, but it's not going to stand the test of time.
Speaking of foundations, let's shift our focus to the legal and ethical implications of Odetta's spinning method, because that's where things get really serious.
Oh yeah, we can't just gloss over the plagiarism issue. Yeah, it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty of copyright law and ethical content creation. Stay tuned, folks, because things are about to get real. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've explored, like, Odetta's, so-called Google goldmine method. And let's just say the shine is definitely wearing off a bit.
Indeed, we've seen that the websites she mentions, while some are legitimate, require more than just spun content. Right. And let's not forget that ethical and legal minefield of plagiarism, but there's another layer to this we haven't really touched on yet.
Oh, right, what's that?
The psychology of persuasion.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, get inside the mind of the guru. How do they make these schemes so tempting? Yeah, even when we know, like, deep down, it's probably too good to be true.
It's all about tapping into, like, our desires and anxieties.
Right.
Odetta, she starts by painting this picture of financial freedom, working from anywhere, making $300 a day from your laptop. It's a dream, especially in today's economy.
Right, she's speaking directly to our aspirations. Our desire for a better life, more flexibility, more control. Right.
Exactly. Who wouldn't want that? Yeah. And she uses language designed to evoke excitement and possibility, phrases like turn your free time into a gold mine or unlock the secrets to Google wealth. It's all very alluring, very enticing.
Yeah, and she positions herself as this ultimate insider. Yeah, one who's like cracked the code to easy riches.
Right.
She even calls her viewers rock stars.
Yeah.
Creating this sense of community like a shared journey towards success.
Exactly. There's this implication that she has exclusive knowledge, like a secret method, that's going to catapult you to financial freedom. It's all very, join the club, we're in the know.
Right, and there's this, like, urgency to act now before it's too late.
Definitely.
Makes you want to jump on board, like, right away before you let out.
Exactly. She emphasizes how easy and foolproof her method is, downplaying the effort and skill required. It's all about minimizing the perceived risk and maximizing the potential reward.
Right, but what's interesting is how she handles, like, potential objections, right? The plagiarism issue, right. She doesn't ignore it, but she kind of reframes it. Spins it into a positive.
That's a classic persuasive technique.
Okay.
She takes a negative and turns it into a justification. Remember that Burger King analogy? Oh, yeah. Comparing spinning articles to what established businesses and news outlets do, it's a way of normalizing something that is ethically and legally problematic.
Right. It's like saying, see, everyone's doing it, so it's okay.
Exactly. And she takes it a step further by encouraging viewers to write spin on it in the comments.
Oh, wow.
It's brilliant, really. It gets people, publicly committing to the method, reinforcing their belief, and creating a sense of social proof.
Right, if enough people are saying it works, maybe it must be true.
That's the power of social influence.
Okay.
We're wired to trust the experiences of others, especially when they seem to align with our desires.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners? How can we avoid falling for these persuasive tricks?
Yeah.
These shiny promises of easy money?
First, be aware of the tactics at play. Okay. Recognize when someone is using emotionally charged language, appealing to your desires, downplaying the risks.
It's like seeing the strings behind the magic trick. Once you know how it's done, it's less impressive.
Exactly. Second, do your research.
Okay.
Don't take anyone's word for it. Look for independent reviews, fact-check claims, and consider multiple perspectives.
And finally, trust your gut.
Yes.
If something feels too good to be true, it probably is.
Absolutely.
Don't let the allure of easy money cloud your judgment.
Well said. Building a sustainable career, whether it's in writing or any other field, takes effort, dedication, and a commitment to ethical practices. There are no shortcuts.
So true. Odetta's method might be tempting, but it's ultimately a fool's goldmine.
It is.
Instead of chasing shortcuts, invest in developing your skills at building your network and creating genuine value. That's the real path to success.
Couldn't agree more.
That's a wrap for this deep dive, listeners. Remember, stay curious, stay skeptical, and always do your research before jumping on any get-rich-quick bandwagon. Until next time.